Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Can you see me and hear me? Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Jill. All right, let's get started. I'm going to stay on probably for about an hour and a half. Gavin's back in school, so I'm going to try and get some true crime out this week as well. All right. Let me go back up a little bit. This down. Should I have ankle surgery with Dr. HM or Dr. JM, or go to HSS for third option? HM, JM, third option. Is there a fourth option? I guess if I had to pick one, I would say JM, but I feel like maybe there's a fourth option to be looked into here, is kind of the vibe I'm getting with that. Does my gran have a message for my mom? Does gran have a message? Whatever it is that she's waiting for, and I tend to believe it's some kind of like stability or some type of like feeling better about something. Like I am either sad or under the weather or sick or something just happened. It feels like things are going to start to shift sooner than she thinks. She's going to start to feel better sooner than she thinks. Is the message. I had a peaceful passing and transition to the other side. Some kind of feeling of peace is coming in for her. Will my husband pass all tests to get CDL and hired full time? CDL. I feel like there's something he needs. It feels like it's likely to go his way with the CDL, but there's one thing that might trip him up. So in the meantime, really focus on that one factor. Will he get hired full time? I don't see at this point getting hired full time, but I feel like it's possible either in the near future or after they make some kind of changes in like staffing or something. Message for the week and a token. We have a trophy with number 68. You're going to find the solution for whatever it feels to not be going your way right now. This feels like career, or it feels like a change in direction when it comes to something that would increase stability. It's like you get some kind of major win this week where you start to see where the opportunity to move forward is. How did G feel about R going out for her birthday with friends? Did they fight? How did G feel about R? How did G feel about R going out for her birthday with friends? Did they fight? I feel like there was tension. I don't know if it got to the point of a fight, but there was definitely some like questioning if someone's hiding something, questioning if they're being honest, or like questioning maybe why they pulled back or were acting in a certain energy. It does feel like there was some kind of like building tension. Will I ever have a good relationship with SR again in this lifetime? And if so, when? One of you just like doesn't want to let go, and the other one is in this energy of escapism. It feels like someone's avoiding facing their own feelings, or their own mindset that could have led to whatever happened. I feel like it's going to depend on that person kind of growing up. It doesn't feel like it's you. It feels like it's them. It's possible, but it depends on that person being willing to face whatever's keeping them in that energy. Will I get any family discount on my grandma's house to be able to afford it? I am worried it'll be more expensive than originally thought. Family discount. It's like someone could offer it to you, but they don't want to. And I guess by that, I mean, like, they could afford to take the hit of the discount, but it's like, I don't know if I want to do that for some reason. Yeah. I feel like they're going to resist doing that. Messages from my spirit guides, Toucan. Whatever battle you're facing right now, it feels like you're turning this bend of clarity, or like where you're able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, one of them. From some healing from some kind of painful communication or lack thereof. It's like you're going to start to see the light at the end of the tunnel soon in whatever this caused you. It feels like it caused stagnancy somewhere, and you're going to start to see the path forward. What is my biggest challenge this coming week and weekend? Questioning someone's motives around you. It's like you get a hint that maybe the motives are kind of misplaced or like selfish. And it feels like the challenge is which action to take once you see that. Will my mom get approved for financial assistance Medicaid? Getting denied on the card. It feels like there may be a need to appeal. Excuse me. There may be a need to appeal something or like file additional something. The devil's in reverse, so it's possible, but it feels like not the first go around, or there's some kind of unforeseen challenge to it. Message from my guides and a song. Strong Enough by Cher is the song. Whatever action you took to protect your peace from someone, you made the right decision. It was only going to get worse. You were trying to see like the good or the positive in it. But it feels like this is like a control thing. Like someone had control issues or like ego wounds. So whatever it was, you made the right decision. I know nothing about this type of history. What is the reasoning for the Queen of Sheba visiting me? I would say look into the history. There's something in the history, like a move that she made that you're meant to emulate. Like you're supposed to do like a what would she do type of thing to something to break away from some kind of situation that's not serving you. Something you've been dealing with in private that's keeping you stuck. It's like something that if you read her story and you think of that energy, it'll help you make a decision somewhere where you feel stuck behind the scenes. Message from spiritual community with a token. A snake with number 89. Snake. You're getting the opportunity to face something so that you can move forward, but I kind of feel like it's you helping another person through something and seeing yourself in the context of that situation. Almost like the betrayal that someone else endures is going to affect you or hurt you, and you help the person through it. It feels like that's coming up in the next like 2 months. I got an interview tomorrow. Will I get the job? If so, shall I take it or wait for better opportunity? I feel like there is a better opportunity, but I feel like this may be something good in the meantime. It may be that that next opportunity is a little further off and you kind of need the placeholder or could use the experience maybe. Or maybe like you being there would look good for the other thing that comes along. Should you take it if I get it? I feel like there's going to be some kind of offer. I feel like it's a good stepping stone or like transitionary thing. Let me go to this list for a minute. New member, thank you. The people that you lose during your healing process are only meant to be with the unhealed version of you. There's a need to see something for what it really is instead of what you hoped it would be. And there's a message of like, you'll be okay, even if you don't feel like that immediately. What does my future hold for me from my guides? There's like one final bungee cord holding you back. It feels like a battle with your inner teen. So it could be like rebellion. It could be like forgiveness for what other people may have done to you or affected you in some way during that period. It's like that's coming to the surface because that's the last bungee cord holding you back from some kind of forward progress. The Tower in reverse. It's something that you've been avoiding for some time. Almost like the wound comes up and you push it back down. The wound comes up and you push it back down. This time when it comes up, just allow yourself to feel and release and transmute that energy. Because as you transmute it, you have this wheel of fortune. You start to move forward or start to like turn things in your favor. From healing, it feels like your inner teen. It feels like a very rebellious energy. Any messages about Aunt Jackie on baby she lost? There's a lot of like blaming herself, and it wasn't her fault. I know that people probably tell her that, but like it really wasn't. This is like a predestined, meant to happen this way. There's some, as hard as it is to hear, it's like there's some like greater purpose for what the loss is going to have, like a ripple effect, almost like it's awakening a new mindset or something to that effect in like the surrounding either family or community or something. It feels like what it's meant to do is eventually reignite hope after a feeling of hopelessness. And there's nothing that she did. There wasn't anything that she could have done differently. I watch over you every day with a heart in the clouds. Why is Honey all of a sudden chewing furniture? I want more attention. I feel like I'm alone, I guess. It doesn't feel like anything has changed in the amount of being alone. It just maybe like with age comes like I want to be alone less, because this would be codependency. This is like do something with me. I feel like I'm by myself. So I guess like a kind of like a child. I'm assuming this is an animal, but like kind of like a child acting out, I guess, is how it feels. One more here, and then I'm going to back to the other list. Will my husband's job have us moving? I feel like there's a good possibility of that, but it's almost like if there's something that you're hesitant about now where you're like, "I don't really know if I wanna do that," almost like it works out better than you think, or if that's already something that you are hoping for, it's like the transition is easier than you expect, something to that effect, but I do feel like that's likely gonna be the case. But it doesn't feel like soon for some reason. Message from my mom for Granny, her mom. It's gonna be her 77th birthday. There's, like, a very specific memory that she's referencing. I'm seeing, like, a field and possibly, like, a boat or, like, a bench or something to that effect. Yeah, like, an inspiration of memories is coming through. She's gonna help to, I guess, like, poke certain memories into your granny's mind, and it's not meant to, like, be triggering, it's meant to, like, be healing or, like, remember this type of memory. There's a soul connection and reaching out to you with unknown calls and voicemails. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to inspire certain thoughts in you that will help to generate certain memories. Let me get a token. A bus with number 98. I'm wondering if it's like some kind of memory that your mom's referencing from when she was a kid. Something important about like parks, fields, possibly a boat or a bench. It's like some time they spent together that was really important to her. Any mess oh, I'm going back to the other list after this. Any messages from my mother-in-law? Sometimes we will experience certain anxiety that we can't really put our finger on, and then you'll find that, like, something happens, like, a week later, and it's almost like there's this self-blame about some anxiety that you were feeling, but you're not recognizing it was actually, like, telling you about some kind of impending thing that was happening or going to happen, but it's like you didn't connect the 2. Um, some kind of delay. It's almost like you're I need to release some kind of frustration with yourself. Yeah, lack of celebration. I feel like there's this feeling of you feeling like you're not doing enough, and she's saying to give yourself more credit. Like you are showing up above and beyond what you're giving yourself credit for. Is the message. I am learning over here. It's almost like you'll see that soon now that I said it. You'll be like, "Oh, okay. I can kind of see what she means." Like you catch yourself in the act after the fact type of thing. Oh, I keep forgetting. I'm going back to the other list after this. Will changing my diet have a positive improvement in my current health? It's almost like it's going to show you where the issue is coming from. So like almost like not literal, but like a well, maybe literal, like an unswelling that helps you see, okay, this is exactly what I need to work on, whether it's like gut issues, whether it's like um I don't know, like something relating to it. So yes, but not that in and of itself. It's like that shows you what else needs to be changed. And let me go back to this list. Should I meet up with P? Yes, there may be either like an awkward moment or like a little tension, but then it works itself out. I'm gonna okay, so what I'm getting is like you go into it feeling really good, then there's like something that like throws it off and then it goes back on track. So depending on the dynamic of the relationship, that could be the conversation being awkward or that could be the conversation being tense, but it's like it dips and then it comes back up. So I feel like yes, but also be prepared for that, I guess. Which of my chakras are still blocked? Inner child. We have heart chakra. Yeah. It's keeping you feeling like you're never doing enough, or maybe like anxiety about being observed type of thing. It's like constantly like in a state of overthinking because of an inner child wound. So heart chakra. The inner child is the solar plexus, but also there's that element of the inner child that like the purity of the heart type of thing. A restoration of your innocence about a perspective, if that makes sense. What should I be focusing on for the next month? Clarity about some kind of home life or family situation. Figuring out what's keeping you feeling unfulfilled. I almost want to word this as like tying up loose ends of something that either is tension or off balance in terms of either family or home life. Whatever the issue is that you're already aware of, focusing on making progress there or changing it there. Oh no, this just moved me. Message from guides about DW and a song. One second. Thing Want To by Sugarland. And the album says Enjoy the Ride from DW. There's an ending of a cycle of avoidance here. So I don't know if it's a conversation between the two of you or some kind of like change that allows the dynamic of the relationship to be different. But it feels like one of you are carrying this burden, and the putting down of that burden positively affects the dynamic moving forward. Any messages for me and a song and token? Teddy bear with number 10. It's like your inner child wants you to make some kind of change and choose yourself here. There's a need to look at what you're seeing and trust your intuition about it, and not make excuses for or change in your head like what you want it to be. It's like see it for what it is so that you can make decisions accordingly. Will this prospective employer take me on and get me started in time to be able to afford bills and my daughter's birthday? I don't feel like the timing is there. I feel like either there's a delay because the night is already a very slow moving night and he's in reverse. So it's almost like I take a step backwards before taking a step forward. There may be some additional like step in the hiring process, or maybe it's like a certain amount of checks held or something like in the beginning. But this is like a lack of victory. I don't feel like the timing is there. Of course, there's probably maybe something that could speed it up, but as it stands right now, I don't feel like the timing is there. One second. Message from my guardian angel. It's almost like you need to make room for something. Like I'm getting like a purging or like a clearing type energy. Like when there's less noise, there's more clarity. But it's like an avoidance of less noise because there's some kind of wound or perspective that maybe you're not all the way ready to sit with. But the message is like when there's less noise, there's more clarity. What do I need to know right now? Excuse me. The decision that you're sitting on, maybe not speaking on it, the only way out is through. So there's a need to face it. There's a need to make a decision, and there's a need to like stand 10 toes down on the decision. It feels like some kind of either relationship change, lifestyle change, career change. It's like needing to commit to seeing where you're depleting yourself and where you're overpouring at your own expense. There's a need to change something in the way that the dynamic of what you're pouring out versus what you're getting in. It's like you're over pouring without getting anything in return. There needs to be some kind of change. Message or song for this week. Take It All Back 2.0 by Judah and the Lion. There's like a message of seeing that what didn't work out for you really worked out for you. It's almost like starting to see a piece of yourself coming back to you in a way that you didn't expect. Almost like a piece you didn't recognize you lost, whether that's like a passion or like some kind of interest that you end up looking into. It feels like something is coming in so that you can start to like feel the light again is kind of what I'm getting. I know that kind of sounds corny, but like almost like a little bit of passion being ignited is going to go a long way. I feel an energy shift for the positive. Is this a good thing? And what do I do to keep moving forward? I would say to be present in the moment and not try to rush forward. I also feel like there maybe because of like the positive shift, you may feel like you want to kind of jump into like extra socialization or like doing a bunch of things and kind of knocking it out all at once. I would say like there's a message to kind of take your time. Like don't rush forward. Allow yourself to be present and enjoy the moments going forward. There's this feeling of like needing to slow down. Almost like you want to run from the last chapter that you were just in because you're starting to feel like better is up ahead, but don't rush there. There's something that could be missed or something like burnout wise that could occur, it feels. My childhood friend lost her son in dirt bike wreck. Any message from him to her? I feel like from her perspective, she's imagining it for him being this like long, like painful process, and it's almost like it was over before he realized it. So there's this energy of like needing to release. It feels like there's like this ruminating on worst case scenario and what he must have felt, but it wasn't like that from his perspective. And there's like a desire for her to release that. Yeah. Needing to move forward from that grief. Well, let me get a song. Take Good Care of My Baby by Bobby V. There's something she's really worried about, and it's that's not the case in terms of like how the accident happened, or like I don't know if there's like some self-blame about like letting him go that day or something, but it's almost a message of like there's nothing that could have been done differently, and also a message of it wasn't like the worst case scenario for him in the way that she imagines it being. It was over much quicker. I had to leave that way is the message. Why did I find the abandoned burnt car the other day? Did you get some kind of like weird download after? It almost feels like the train of thought of trying to unpack what was going on with the car or why the car was there inspired like a tree branch off of different thought. That was the purpose of you coming across it. Whatever thought came from unpacking what you were seeing. I also feel like you're going to put this together by referencing it when you're talking to someone. It's like you're telling someone that you saw it or the story or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's the tree branch. If you don't get it by then, it feels kind of important though, like almost like a spiritual key or something. Will the MRI find out anything? Almost like I guess I'd word it as where it's most likely to be coming from, but okay, I'm back. I have an Wi-Fi extender in my office, so I don't know why that would be doing that. Sorry. Um, almost feels like either general idea of it or like something to the effect of we need to do more to figure out exactly what's either causing this or something. Yes, but there's more to discover, basically, is what I'm saying. Go back to this list. Dreamt saw 2 cat trees. Will this come to pass? 2 cat trees. Oh, that's kind of like a cat tree. It's almost like, how do I word this? It's almost like you end up seeing one and it reminds you of the energy of the two, and what is missing or where the other one would be in relation to the dream is like a clue of something, if that makes sense. Like I saw 2, now I'm seeing 1. What else is going on around me that this could be symbolic of, or like the symbolism of this could relate to? Like there was 2, now there's 1 type of thing. Message for the week and a token or song. Unappreciated by Erica Mason. You show up for everybody but yourself, got used to doing everything but never asked for help. You're the person people take for granted and eventually regret it when they realize the void that you left. Oh my gosh, that's a debit card. Like it says debit on there. It feels like you've been swiping your energetic card for everybody else, and there's like a negative balance when it comes to what's left for yourself. And it feels like that's relating to this, like, I don't know, like not wanting to abandon other people wound, or making sure it's like you're putting everybody in front of yourself at your own expense, but the own expense part is starting to catch up to you. So there's a need to kind of pull back your energy, especially from a situation that you're carrying someone else's burden, so that you can restore the balance here. It feels like there's like a unintentional projection of miscommunication, and you're overthinking how you're communicating, but that's not your energy. It's like someone whose burden you're carrying. And there's a need to kind of give yourself some grace. Let me try to just connect to my. There's a need to kind of give yourself grace here, and put up boundaries. I don't know why this keeps doing this. Sorry, guys. I have a whole extender literally right there. There's a need to put up boundaries and know that the boundaries, if someone questions your boundaries or is uncomfortable with your boundaries, that's a sign that you put up the right boundaries. It's not a sign to change them. All right, I'm gonna 1 second. I'm gonna close super chats. The last one will be Jill about the 4 cats. Okay, should I send C the letter and gifts? I feel like you're not going to get the response that you want. It almost feels like the lack of response may be not ideal. I would say you can, if there's like some kind of disappointment, like yes, but you may end up disappointed with it not producing any kind of additional conversation or like the response or lack thereof. There's something off about it. Archangel Ariel came to me to help. Will she be helping me in my spiritual development or just that one time? It feels like there was a specific reason that she came to you at that time. So I don't know if you know her story or like what she's associated with or whatever. It feels like it was not necessarily that there won't be another time, but there was a specific reason that it was that time. It doesn't feel like necessarily like an ongoing thing with the world upright, but it feels like it was helping you complete a cycle or like the associated energy that you needed to understand something in that moment, if that makes sense. 2 more on this list, and then I'm going back to the other list. Should I move to another shop or stay where I am? Move. I feel like something's going to be changing in the shop that you're in, and maybe there's this need to like wait it out to see if that change makes you feel like you don't want to leave. But if you still question leaving after the change, then I feel like it should be making sure everything else is up and running and in place before you make that change. So I don't feel like yet is the right time to do that. And I kind of feel like the change is coming in soon. I don't know if it's like a change in like management or change in hours or change in what you do. It's like there's some change that you'll want to stick around just long enough to see if that change is better for you. Should I buy a home in a 55 and older community? So I feel like yes, but like there's some element of either being mindful about which community it is. Like I don't know if there's like communities that are prone to like the older and then ones that are more prone to like 55 to 60. It feels like yes, but check the dynamic of the specific one you're looking into, because it feels like some will be good and others you'll be like, okay, this isn't really what I wanted, if that makes sense. So I feel like it's a good option, but being mindful about which one you choose. 2 more and then I'm going to the other list. Was the single yellow leaf falling followed by a cardinal flying a sign by my grandma? Yes. Look, it's the Earth Queen. So like sitting around all these leaves. A confirmation of your perspective on something that you assume to be true or have intuitively felt to be true about something relating to a family member that she would be associated with. So like a family member on that side of the family. A feather or yellow leaf. There's some significance in yellow. Yeah, that's connection. There's some significance in yellow. Yellow is going to show up again. Almost like when you're with the family member that this thought was about, it's almost like your eyes will be drawn to something like yellow in the room, and that'll be like the confirmation. It feels like that's important. Like there's an additional confirmation coming, but yes. Does mom have dementia? More cards. Taking back mental capacity. If it's not there yet, I feel like it's going in that direction. There's some kind of like, kind of want to word it as like calm before the storm, but not like scary storm, just like changes coming up that may not be ideal. It does feel like there's something going on though. Hey, Amber. One of these for you. You are not selfish for wanting to be treated well. I don't know if I need to say anything else about that card to you. You are not selfish for wanting to be treated well. Let me pull one more since I'm not giving commentary because I know that you know and I know what that is. Whew. Forgive yourself for the relationships and friendships you settled for when you weren't in your power. Again, I think you know that you're moving in the right direction there. All right, two more, and then I'm going to go back to the other list. Is E my soulmate twin flame who I'll end up with? No. You are going to find that person, but I don't feel like it's that person. I don't feel like that person is the person that you end up finding to be that role. Been working on my soul contract. I'm supposed to share Christ consciousness. Am I ready? And how should I go about that? I feel like there's more shadow work to be done, and it's your shadow work that's shared. It's like as you start to, let me see what shadow it is. As you start to work on that, it feels like the shadow that you've been avoiding, moral injury, suffering from a deep conflict between personal values and actions taken or witnessed. It goes back to like other people's around you. Other people around you that aren't on the right path will start to naturally learn by you facing the shadows and the changes that occur as you face them. Creativity blockage. It's like that's how you start to see the solution. You start to share it as you focus on yourself. Sensitivity overload. Yeah, it's like all these open tabs of other people's projections, fears, insecurities. It's like you've been kind of holding them all in, and they are on top of whatever wound it is that you need to be facing. So there's a need to release all that and see what that wound is that's underneath. And as you do that, it's like you leading by example in that way starts to show those who are around you that need to kind of do things a little differently, how to start to do them. Inferiority wound. It's like the shadow work that's needed will make you feel ready to share, where right now there's this like, am I worthy of this role type of energy. And it all stems from betrayal wounds. There's a betrayal wound that caused you to betray yourself by focusing only on everybody else, so that there was avoidance of what was going on. So as that shifts, you start to naturally step into that role, if that makes sense. One of these. Yeah, to endure is to evolve. Your wounds tell your story, but your scars do not define you. Only you can do that. And the butterfly, like emerging from the cocoon. So the way to do that is to pour into yourself, and then that will start to shift the environment of those around you. It's almost like once you see your impact in that way, you start to see yourself as worthy of being in that role, if that makes sense. My financial situation will improve soon and a new job. It feels like there's a need to address a money wound that may read as I need to work really hard to make money, or there's no space for me in the saturated field, or I don't have the skills, or the skills that I have are not up to par. There's like something like that that's holding you back from seeing what could help moving forward. I do feel like it's coming, but I don't feel like it's soon. I would say in about 10 months, you're going to have a better idea of when and how it can improve. There's like a gap in between is what it feels. Did someone send the butterflies to me? Couldn't take action. Feels like there's a grandma here. I want to word this as it's meant to be a message that only you could understand. And I feel like it has something to do with what was going on or what was being said at the timing that you saw them. So look back at what was going on at the timing, and it feels like that indicates the message that you'll understand, or the message to confirm. Song, hold on. If You Could Feel My Love by Viox is the song. Any messages? You're about to see how I almost want to word this as like getting bad advice, or like getting advice that limited your perspective on what could be done about something. You're about to get the info needed to make a decision that like breaks through that glass ceiling of what you thought was possible based off of what someone said to you. I almost want to word this as like you're about to see some kind of limiting advice be lifted so that you can find the better option, if that makes sense. Will we get the mobile home I'm wanting to see today? It feels like there may be some either unforeseen, like additional fee, or it may be a little bit out of budget because of something else that's additional you didn't expect. I do feel like it's possible, but it's going to depend on what that factor is. And like if you can either go out of budget that much, or be able to fix whatever it is that needs to be fixed. It feels like it's going to kind of be your decision based off of if you're able to have the extra funds for something that right now feels unforeseen. Will Elroy's blood work come back with good news? I wanna say it's not gonna be something that feels to be perfect, but it feels like something to be that maybe like a little off balance with a solution to fix it. So, like, maybe it's like a diet change or something like that that would need to happen based off of the results, but it doesn't feel like there's anything catastrophic in the results, if that makes sense. I Won't Back Down by Tom Petty is the song. Will we be okay financially this year? It feels like there's some decision that's gonna need to be made that right now is still unforeseen, in which maybe a little bit more money has to go out. So I don't know if that's like a spend money to make money. It doesn't feel like that. It just feels like maybe like an increase in something or an unexpected expense. Will you be okay though? Yeah, I feel like you're gonna make it work. I kind of want to word this as it's going to feel tight, especially around that time of making a decision to spend something. I don't know if that's like holiday. It doesn't feel to be holidays though. It feels like something not holiday-ish. You'll be okay, but it may be tight momentarily because of that. Have I successfully released any energy blocks to allowing a love relationship back into my life? The Show Goes On by Lupe Fiasco. I feel like there's a need to still focus on throat chakra and really standing up, not standing up for yourself, but like not overthinking what other people may be thinking of you when you're communicating in a vulnerable way. There's still like this throat chakra. Um, I don't, it's not like a blockage, it's like a preparation that's needed, I guess. So I feel like you're on your well on your way there, but there's certain experiences that are going to happen in between now and then that allow you to utilize your throat chakra in a way to like prepare it, I guess I'd say. What does September hold for me? Something good. Because of what you chose to walk away from or change, you've made space for something better. And it feels like that starts to trickle in September. Some kind of emotional balance being restored because of something external that allows you to feel secure or safe. Any messages from loved ones? To not let other people's lack of self-respect make you feel like you're hard to love. Um, their lack of self-respect. It's like other people aren't respecting themselves enough to show up authentically. Yeah, and you need to release yourself from that. It's not you, it's something that they're doing to not show up authentically because it's like it's that quote that's like your light irritates their demons is kind of what's coming through. MVP Part 2 by Ali. You're meant to be a catalyst for other people to get a little triggered so they can heal. So when that happens, it's nothing you're doing wrong. It's kind of just part of your role is how I'd word it. Here for a little message from my spirit guides and a song. Excuse me. Real World by Matchbox 20. If someone can't respect your boundaries, that's proof of why the boundaries needed to be there in the first place. Don't let yourself pull away from like once you put the boundaries there, remember the mindset you were in when you put the boundaries there, even when there may be a moment of like joy or something that makes you feel like, okay, the boundaries aren't needed anymore. There's a need to maintain the boundaries that you set. I tend to believe you know exactly what person this is with or people this is with. What chakras do I need to work on? Personal power, solar plexus, taking back your power, releasing an inner child wound so you can find out exactly. It's almost like as you heal. No, this feels like inner teen. It feels like as you focus on the inner teen, it allows you to see in which ways you can take back your power. Almost like this healthy rebellion is kind of the energy. Um, where you previously were silenced for other people's comfort, it's like you're finding ways to release that, but not in the way that you would have at the time of whatever happened. Like you just kind of speaking on either your ideas or your passions or something is doing the same releasing that it would have been to address situations at the time. It's like the use of the throat chakra helps you take back your power, but you don't need to go back and like talk about things from the past. It's like being in the now and using it helps you take back your power from situations where it was depleted in the past. Is it in my best interest to walk away? I feel like there's either more behind the scenes that you don't know or deeper manipulation than you are aware of. I feel like there's this need to know that if you stay, the other person or the situation is not going to change in the way that you're hoping. It's almost like if you're hoping that your love can change someone, they're not ready to see it like that. Or if you're hoping that your input could change something in a job, it may make sense to them, but they're not ready to make that change. So it's like if you stay, things are going to remain the same. So imagine yourself waking up in 5 years in the same energy, dealing with the same thing. Would you be okay with that? It feels like with death, you're being pushed to some kind of change, um, which would likely be more towards walking away. What steps are needed to speed up hiring process? Why am I hearing like job fair or like something to that effect? I don't know if that's like a so either literal job fair type thing or like a temp position, like get my foot in the door and then see if I can make it permanent or get my foot in the door and see if I can kind of get a connection to another place. Yeah, taking a leap forward. It's almost like it's right there. You just got to reach out and grab it. And I feel like you've been trying to do that and it hasn't been working, but it feels like pivoting the way that you're looking or pivoting perspective. For some reason, I keep hearing job fair. I don't know if maybe like look up if there's one near you, and maybe if you don't even go to it, but you look at similar jobs as what would be offered there, or it could be some kind of temp position. Go back to this one. Will the job I get be making less, the same, or more than I have in the past? Less, same, more. I feel like eventually you're going to be making more, but it feels that there's some mid position, like some like stepping stone. So I don't know if that's initially you're not making more and then there's a promotion to make more, or I don't know if that's you take a job, you end up finding something else and leaving that job and the second job makes more. It feels like you eventually end up making more, but not at first. And it may at first be either a little less or like the same, but like some added expense. Maybe it's like a further drive or there's like tolls or something. It doesn't feel major. It feels minor. Like something minor makes it potentially less initially, but then somehow either a different job or that job becomes more. How can I prove my adoption papers are false? You can. Business success, crowd arena. High spirits, psychic. I feel like you're right. Red tape, cutting through the red tape, changing plans. Is there someone that would have knowledge of it being faked? It's almost like if you figure out, I don't know if it's like getting that person to give you information or if it's figuring out what route that person took to alter it. So like, let's just say, for example, there's like a family member who works in social services or something. Like it's almost like looking into the connection that someone would have had to be able to change it, if that makes sense. But it does feel like it's possible. Just it's hard, but possible. Hey, Jen. Everybody go check out Jen. She also does true crime readings. Messages from Spirit. You're over the target on something. I feel like this is something that you've been working on behind the scenes. It's almost like you're not sure if you're ready to present it or not, or you're not sure if it's ready to present or not, but you're over the target. But there's a need to be very mindful. Where'd that other card go? There's a need to be very mindful about who you give information to this about. So I don't know if this is like something you're working on where like maybe you're kind of collaborating and maybe need to pull back a little from the collaboration. I have the Lovers and Strength. It's almost like whatever it is that you're considering would be better if it came just from you. And there's also this kind of energy of like, whatever it is that you're assuming or like looking into about another person, you're reading the situation correctly. Yes, I do, everyone. I appreciate everyone for being here. My mods, all the super chats, I appreciate it. Any messages from my guides? Ooh. Be mindful about taking the first option or the first offer. I don't know if that's relationship. I don't know if that's career. I don't know if that's like, do you want to go here or there? Almost like there's this sense of jumping at the first opportunity, but it's wise to wait, or it's wise to make sure that you have all the blanks filled in before taking a step forward. Redirection is divine protection here. So if something kind of gets a little weird or screwed up, trust that you're being redirected on the right path. or if that just happened, trust that it was for a good purpose. Message from my spirit guides. It's like you're going to see why you were pulled away from someone. You weren't sure why yet, but either you're going to see from that person or you're going to see from a similar situation why you had to be pulled away from someone in order to protect your peace. But I feel like it wasn't you doing the pulling away. It was almost like your spirit team being like, nope, no more. Almost like you were left in this lack of understanding why, but you're going to start to recognize that. Or you're going to start to see where they were holding you back because of moving forward now that they're not in the way. I got a random drug test after a meeting with leadership calling out their behavior. Was it actually random? See how they're back to back. In the right direction. So what I said before I pulled that card, it feels like there was one. Okay, so almost like if there was a discussion, let's do these in the next month. And then when there was some kind of conversation, it was like, okay, let's just try to do it now instead. It feels like a speeding up of what was already going to happen, but like placed at that timing because of that reason. Will I ever be able to convince my husband to move? I feel like it's going to be tough. I feel like it's already been tough. I feel like it's possible to get him on board, but it's almost like he has to feel like it's his idea. And because it's knowingly your idea, it's going to be difficult to convince him that it's his idea. Or maybe it's like the location you're moving to has to align with what he would need it to. There's a way to do it, but it feels like it has to feel like it's his idea, which is difficult because it's your idea up till now. You know what I mean? So there's a need to like shift that power dynamic, I guess I'd say. Go back to this list. Who looks after me? Someone that passed away. Justice. Somebody does. Wheel of Fortune. Look, all corners are covered. This feels like grandparents. I don't know if all of your grandparents are passed or any great. If there's great grandparents that you met during this lifetime or that were very prevalent in the theme of your lifetime, or maybe they were talked about a lot, it feels like they're there, and it also feels like there's grandparents there. It's like you're protected from all corners. There's no delay in us coming to your aid. It's the same four corners. There's no. It feels very strong grandparent vibes. Getting a song, 1 second. Rise Up by Andra Day is the song. Dreamt 4 cats, pink mouse, big white pig. 4 cats, pink mouse, big white pig. Look up the symbolism for each of them. It's like you're meant to be putting 2 and 2 together. It's the answer to a question that you've been answering, an answer to a question that you've been asking. There's a need to kind of look at each thing independently and then put 2 and 2 together as to what it's symbolizing. You have the way to get these answers, though. Almost like your spirit team speaking in code. New member, thank you. If a butterfly is struggling to get out of the cocoon and someone cuts it to help it out, the butterfly dies. You have to let the butterfly struggle because the struggle forces blood into the wings so they can spread them and fly. The same concept is necessary for us to be able to soar. I want to word this as don't stand in the way of someone else's falling tower. There's a need to not abandon anyone, but there's a need to kind of watch from afar and not get too wrapped up in something that someone else is dealing with or will be dealing with. Message from SW, my healer in spirit. Whatever recently didn't work out for you was some form of protection. It's like you would have either met some kind of dead end or some kind of repeated cycle. So whatever didn't work out for you really worked out for you, but you haven't seen proof of that yet. And 7 months, it feels like almost like a lucky break because of what didn't hold you back. If you would have gotten what you thought you wanted, you would have ended up spending too much energy and not having enough for the change that's coming in. One more here. Oh, and Wake Me Up is the song that just started playing by Aloe Black, well, by Avicii. Messages from my guides and a song. God's Plan by Drake. Oh, they just fell out. Whatever change you've been making or thinking about making, it's almost like there's a need to be patient, but you'll see the proof that you're making the right one. It almost feels like a difficult situation that you're waiting to resurface, but it's not going to resurface. There's some change that's coming from it. And it's all working out in your benefit, even if there's some discomfort in the meantime. One more here and then back to the other list. Message from my guides. There's a need to pull your energy back where your gut feeling is telling you that something is off. Something being done behind the scenes in the dark. It's like trust your, almost like if your thoughts were to tell you, you'd find a way to like give the benefit of the doubt. So there's a need to trust your gut feeling, because your gut feeling is going to be like the sure tell sign, like I don't feel right when I'm with this person or when I'm in this situation or when I'm thinking about this. It's like trust your gut feeling. It's leading you away from something that you're not seeing is not for you. Advice on my future with Jay and if the obstacles will eventually get out of the way. Ooh. I feel like it's going to get a little worse before it ends up getting better. There's some kind of healing of attachment patterns here that needs to take place. And it feels like that is the determining factor. Like if you can get on the same page about attachment style, or whichever one needs to kind of deal with the way that they deal with the other's attachment style. Like almost like needing to learn one another's love languages again, like relearn them. I think there's a possibility for things to shift, but it feels like it gets worse before it gets better. Almost like someone walks away from a conversation unfulfilled, and then there's a need to like take a minute to regroup. Any messages for my girls from their gran? or GRN. She's always listening, or I think it's or grandpa, I don't know. She's always listening. It almost feels like someone feels like their words are falling on deaf ears. Like, I don't even know if you hear me, but like there's a feeling of like, if you needed confirmation that I'm here, I'm here. I'm offering you my support. And whoever it is that's kind of going through some kind of mental battle right now, it's like the end is in sight, or the sun will come out soon, so to speak. Surrounded by loving animals, there's a need to kind of lean on one another. You said girls, there's a need to lean on one another. Acknowledge the importance of the little things that count. Oh, DNA by Kendrick Lamar is the song that came on when I changed it. Oh, grandparents. I feel like that was for some reason. Trying to see if there's anyone I didn't get yet. Would Arkansas or Arizona be the best move for me? Arkansas. I feel like Arizona, but it's not going to come without its challenges. I don't know if that's finding a job or finding housing, or maybe like the pricing of things in the two locations being slightly higher in Arizona. It feels like there's an obstacle to overcome, but you break free from it. I'm almost feeling like, is there a third option you've been considering? And maybe that's why neither of these are like a real hard, clear yes. I feel like you can make Arizona work, but it's going to come as like some kind of uphill climb, but there may be a third option. Or if there's a third option, maybe consider that as well. Is the house my son-in-law and daughter buying in New York a money pit? It feels like it's more money than they would like to spend, and one of them specifically is gonna get frustrated about the amount of money they're putting into that versus something else. I don't know if that's children, I don't know if that's, like, vacations. It's almost like the amount of money we have to put into this prevents us from doing other things. That bothers one of them more than the other. I do feel like there's a solution, so I guess that would be they're gonna have enough money to fix whatever it is, but also it may drain that significantly. One second. Will Kieran pass his driving test? I feel like when I answered this before, I feel like there was something I told you he needed to work on. I feel like whatever that was, it's been worked on. I feel like it's going in his favor as it looks right now. Almost like whatever the potential anxiety block was is starting to lift. Message from my grandmother and a song. American Pie by Don McLean. I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. I feel like she's recently sent you some kind of song. or like you've been noticing her energy come through in songs? There's something from the past that you used to enjoy that you're being encouraged to kinda look into. I don't know if that's like a why is that in front of my face? I don't know if that's like a new hobby or like for some reason I'm feeling like books you used to read or music you used to listen to. There's a need to kinda usher that in. There's like a bigger purpose than just surface level, but you'll see it once you do it, I guess. Now I have no pain. Pets. Pets and Six of Cups makes me feel like something that brought your childhood self comfort would benefit you in the adult version now. I've had a massive shift recently. This feels like my season. Am I taking my business and passions in the right direction? Yes, but be mindful of depleting your energy by trying to do too much too quickly. Or I guess I'd say like narrow down focus and focus on one branch at a time, and then after that branch is sturdy, come back and start working on the other branch. So I don't know if that's like focusing on lives or focusing on like uh, content creation. It's like try to have one main focus and pour everything into that and see the difference that you can make in how where it is now versus where it is in like 30 days. It feels like spend at least 30 days with a tunnel visioned focus on one particular element and not spread yourself too thin. Um, I feel like there's a potential speed bump that you're not seeing if you deplete your energy too much. So being mindful of that, but yes, going in the right direction. One second. Oh wow, I'm only to where I closed super chats. Okay. Um Message for Danielle who misses these every week and a song. Want to by Sugarland. There's some piece of her like life purpose that is being revealed through what is not going right now. Some stress that she's facing in her current position, that the stress is there not as a punishment, but to show her where like more of an alignment with her soul led purpose can be. Um, she's going to be guided to some kind of shifting or like rededication of where her energy is going in the next 3 months, and she's kind of being guided to just go with the flow, like let it shift. There's a need to kind of allow the divine redirection to come in. Any messages? You recently made some kind of decision, and the decision that you made, you feel like you want to like go back and like do things differently or change the way something was said. There's a clue in that. It's like you didn't do anything that in alignment, but there's a clue in why you want to look back and do something differently. It's like showing you where the wound is that still needs to be healed, whether that be like people pleasing tendencies or like vulnerability blockages, something to that effect. Look at what it is that you want to change about the past, and know that there's no need to change it, but what you want to change about it, there's like a major clue in that. Hopefully that makes sense. D is off for almost 2 weeks. Do you see me being treated unfairly by leadership while he's gone? Even more than not. It's weird. It's more like we just give you your work and avoid you, but like we let you know that that's what we're doing. Not like tell you, but like it's obvious that we're trying to like communicate with you as little as possible, but like still hold our power in the position. I feel like saying the words biding my time. I'm biding my time. Like I'm waiting for some kind of decision, or I'm waiting for like D to come back to be the middle person type of thing. It's weird. It's like this energy of like I'm walking on eggshells, but I'm the one that holds the power, but I'm trying to not, maybe trying to get you to not say something or call out something before that person gets back. How is C feeling about me? Not ready to all the way be who they're saying they can be, or like you're hoping they can be, but there's this energy of like, I don't know, I kind of want to say like they have a lot of options is what it feels like. A lot of options for commitments. I'm kind of feeling to tell you to be a little careful here, especially with the Seven of Swords in between the two aces. It's like I'm being offered this over here, and I'm being offered this over here, and I am not sure which way to go, but I'm not really all the way considering other people's feelings. Clarity, yeah. I almost feel like you've gotten signs of this, or you kind of feel like you could see that looking back type of thing. I would say proceed with caution. Not that you need to end anything, but proceed with caution. I have the devil in the bottom of the deck too. Mm. One second. One second. My dad just passed, and I would like to know if he is okay. Healing. Healing, nurturing, pouring into myself, no more battle. It feels like there's something that he struggled with specifically. I don't know if this kind of feels like there's a war in my mind, but I don't know if that's because of like a health thing or whatever it was that like specifically he dealt with during life is kind of what's being highlighted here as being completely alleviated, almost like being um a hot air balloon, like the bungee's being cut so it can soar type feeling is what I'm being shown. Um, Again. 46 with a chair. Does he have like a spot that he always sat in or something to that effect? I feel like if you go to somewhere that feels like his energy is still very present and you pull up a playlist that is maybe like, I don't know, like I'm sure you could type into Spotify like missing my dad type songs or RIP dad, go to like a random playlist that you already have. Sit where his energy would be, and he'll be able to like give you a giant confirmation or like a hug in that moment. Yes, but like he wants to confirm it for you more. Do the things you love, never regret doing what makes you feel happy, and it is beautiful where I am. It's like different phases of the sunset. I feel like do that thing at night that I said with sitting somewhere. There's some significance about nighttime. Oh, I passed the song and I heard, no, that was it. Go back. Changes by David Bowie is the song. Who is the blue butterfly that has visited me the last 3-4 days, and the dragonfly? It's giving more spirit guides trying to like, this is like not someone you know, trying to help you get a change in perspective to take a leap forward, and that little guide next to him. When you see the butterfly again, same thing as what I just said in the last reading, go to a playlist and shuffle. There's like I kind of want to word it as like a directional thing, like a directional butterfly, like not follow the butterfly in a direction, but like the timing and whatever's going on around the instances are meant to like either complete a thought or like confirm a thought or something to that effect. It feels like spirit guides communicating with you. Mm, 1 second. Is the external force you spoke of earlier a family member? I feel like this is the dynamic. Someone, a family member that's older than you, or a family member that maybe cups and cups. So yes, but it feels like this is the dynamic. You'd be the page, and this person would be the queen. Any message for me today? There's a need to give yourself closure in a different way other than a conversation. There's a need to like wrap up or tie up loose ends in terms of like something that's been on your mind often. You might not get the external closure, but there's a way to give yourself the internal closure. You're strong enough to do that. It's a test of self-love, almost like, will you blame yourself for something that's not your fault because of a lack of closure, or will you find a way to like tie up the loose ends in your mind and shift focus? Message from spirit guides. They've been showing you some kind of signs about something that's not in your favor, and there's like almost like hey, you've kind of been ignoring us a little bit. Um Almost like something you don't want to see, so it's easier to kind of pull the wool over, but it will affect you moving forward. I would say come up with some kind of like word or code with your spirit team, and this is like just between you and your spirit team, almost like when I'm close to whatever this is representing, have the person say this word or show me this color, or like I'll listen for this sound type of thing, to confirm exactly what that would indicate for you. Mm-mm. Let me do a couple of these. Oh, I did that one. Right? Yeah, I did that one. New member, thank you. Nobody talks about how hard it is to unlearn all the toxic behaviors we've adapted as a coping mechanism from the trauma and pain endured. You are not alone. There's a need to give yourself some grace, especially when it comes to overthinking right now. I'm seeing like a pool that's overflowing and like flowing. You can kind of poke a hole in it and release the pressure. There's a need to release the pressure in your mind right now. What the heck happened? Where am I? One second. What did I just read for you? Because my coping mechanism, my contacts got really foggy. It's almost like there's a coping mechanism behavior that needs to be addressed that you're not seeing. So look at the ways in which you're coping with something right now. Don't abandon yourself because of an overflow of emotions, if that makes sense. Don't numb or suppress because of emotions. Where am I? Okay. My dad just passed. I would like to know how he was doing and what he has to say about his trust. I'm going to do these 4 super chats, and then super chats are still closed. I'm going to do a couple more on the other list as well. So no more supers. I just passed. Well, that's your dad. His trust. Is it possible there's instructions that aren't being followed to the T, or there's additional instructions to be uncovered? It's like there's some kind of change in what you'd expect, or there needs to be a change. I would say read and reread everything several times. Even if it's someone else making a decision on something, there's some kind of like miscommunication or like something not being understood properly. 5 of Wands is reversed, so I don't know if it's people necessarily fighting over it, or if there's something that he doesn't want to be missed because it would cause an issue later. I would say go over. There's some kind of paperwork that needs to be going over with like a fine tooth comb. Is that the saying? Fine tooth comb. One second. Let me get a song. Humble and Kind by Tim McGraw is the song. Will my adult daughter get back on her feet? Yes, but not quickly. There's something that she needs to disconnect from, or someone that she needs to disconnect from, maybe a mindset, maybe a habit, maybe a job, maybe an environment. It's like after that change happens, things start to progress forward, not quickly, but over time. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but okay, so there's like a light at the end of the tunnel here, but she's here and there's some bungee cord holding her back so she can see it but can't get there. She needs to cut away that bungee cord. What do I need to do to fix my relationship with my sisters, Becky and Kate? It feels like at this moment, someone's dealing with something that they don't want to talk about or that they're trying to avoid being seen. Like, I don't want you to see through the mask that I'm wearing to protect myself from something I'm going through. I don't want to say like the ball's not in your court entirely because it feels like in time it can be, but it feels like the timing is off. Almost like someone won't be receptive right now. They need to finish getting through what they're going through in order to be receptive to like logical emotional communication. Um I'm kind of getting this feeling of like extending an olive branch around a time that maybe like Christmas or the holidays or something like timing it where the other person is already going to be kind of distracted from the issue, or maybe that's when the issue will be over. But it feels like there's a need to kind of bide your time right now. Someone's not receptive to truly hearing. It's been 8 years since divorce. Will I get a new partner? Single is not easy. Trust deficit and karmic blockages. It feels like because of something that happened in the context of the divorce, you're finding it difficult to trust yourself. And almost like there's a need to increase your trust in your own discernment so that you can usher that in, because there's this fear associated with making the wrong choice or wasting your time again, and it's going to take you out of like the building up phase of it. Almost like because of that fear or that wound, you'll tend to want to rush forward, and you're being protected from rushing forward and getting yourself hurt again. So as you heal that wound, you can usher that in. I want to say like it's going to be a bit, it feels like at least a year, maybe 2. Why is Luke in limbo about his course? Analysis paralysis. Is there better things I could be doing with my time? I have Paradise by the Dashboard Light by Meatloaf coming out. I remember every little thing as if it happened only yesterday. It feels like there's like, if I dedicate myself to this, what am I walking away from? There's like this, am I ready to give up on that to pursue this type of thing? Two hours of members readings a week. So I'll probably hop back on for one more this week. And then I'm going to start doing subscribers readings again next week because Gavin started school today. Is there any other ones? Trying to see if there's anyone that sticks out I didn't get yet. I think I got mostly everyone. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off. Again, I still owe 15 minutes, so I'm gonna come on tomorrow for a little bit. I'll probably do like an hour tomorrow. Probably the same time. I'll schedule it a little bit later today. Actually, I may do it a little later tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. Thank you everyone to being here. Thank you to my mods. I'm gonna try and start getting back on the true crime wave this upcoming week as well. So I might do like a oh, I did make it. There's going to be a suggestion box on my stand store. I'm going to take like 20 at a time and do like 2 of them, and then open 20 more and do 2 of them. So I'll let you know when I'm about to open that. Thank you, everyone.